Okay, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining today's coffee break. Today's topic is going to be Energy Saving 101. So it is an incredibly beautiful day out there, so I hope everybody's had a moment to at least take a breath of fresh air, or at least we'll get to do so later. So if you're locked up in a room like me much of the time, you probably want to take a minute, look out the window, maybe open that window and just take a quick breath. So we're going to get into a few housekeeping rules just to get through the day so everybody understands, and hopefully this will answer some of the questions. First of all, this session will be recorded, so if anybody has questions about that, please feel free to have them at the end. We will be taking everyone's mute off for a question and answer session at the end of this. This will be a very quick presentation. And again, it is intended to be interactive. So please, if you have any questions, throw them up in the chat and we can address them at the end after the presentation. We're going to be covering a lot of great content today. And for everyone on who has joined and on this webinar, we will be sending out a copy of the presentation at the end. So I want to thank you, and we'll get right into it now. So I want to introduce myself to start, so everybody knows. My name is John Becker. I've been working on the energy efficiency programs on program implementation for probably about 14 years now. So I was literally here before the commercial and industrial programs launched. So during that time, we've done a lot of things, and we're going to be covering that in a minute. And also my co-presenter today is Steve Weaver, who works with me on my team as an account manager for the Pepco Maryland programs. And these incentives we'll be talking about for the Energy Savings for Business programs go across both Pepco and Delmarva. And as you guys know, we do have some sister utility programs that are out there, and that's BGE and SMECO, which have very similar incentive structures. So with that being said, let's get into the safety message. So it's that time of year. We know potholes are out there being filled. If you haven't found one, you will. We had a very wet winter, and with the freeze and the wet, we know how that breaks up the tarmac and the asphalt, and that's what you end up with is potholes, as that moisture gets down into the base layers. So what you can do is try to, if you have an app that shows you where the work zones are, pay attention to it. Or if you happen to see those orange cones on the side of the road in the evening, you probably know if you have to come back that way in the morning, you're going to experience some lane closures and maybe some possible stops. So please just make sure you take that into consideration when heading somewhere, especially if you're going around the DC Beltway or the Baltimore Beltway. Anytime you're on 95, 495, 695, you're going to run into something. It's just how it is, unfortunately. Be alert. You know, one of the things I think we all notice is, you know, you'll always see that car kind of touching the lines and going in between the lane and acting a little sporadically. They're probably texting or doing something other than focusing on driving. So pay attention and just be cognizant and respectful of others. It'll save everyone a lot of headache, especially ourselves. So if you see a speed zone, we want to slow down. We want to be cautious. You know, they probably have a speed camera there anyway, so save yourself the trouble. I know that anytime you see those cones, there's going to be workers, there's going to be construction equipment, and who knows what you can run into. So there's also going to be people jumping into your lane as the lane whittles down, and they have lane closures. So just be cognizant of that. Workers and the people and our fellow drivers out there are always our first responsibility and concern. So just be cognizant, pay attention to them, and be safe out there. So today's the day to put the windows down, turn the radio up, and enjoy yourself. All right, moving on. So today's agenda, we're going to cover the just a touch on what is Empower Maryland. We're going to be doing the presentation on Energy Savings 101 for businesses. We're just going to be covering some quick and easy ways to look at energy and save energy, and then we'll have a question and answer session. So thank you. Next slide, please. So the Empower Maryland Act. So let's get into that. What is the Empower Maryland Act? Well, Empower Maryland Act was enacted in 2008. So the Maryland General Assembly noted energy efficiency is among the least expensive ways to meet the growing electricity demands of the state. So how they did it is they came up with the Empower Maryland programs. And what this does, the intent is to provide literally cost-effective long-term benefits to all of its customers, its consumers. And that means reducing energy consumption, lowering rates, avoiding investment in energy transmission, and things of that. Of course, distribution as well. So, but some of the unintended benefits are job creation and protecting the environment improvements. So just a little bit on the timeline. Legislation was originally passed in 2008. In 2015, we hit the reduction goals. In 2017, the Maryland legislature extended the act all the way through 2023, which we are in now. And as you guys know, there was a new goal structure set in place for the amount of energy being set within the Empower Maryland programs that we have to achieve. And this is 2% of the gross energy sales. And then everybody knows the pandemic hit, right? Everything changed, shut us all down. The way we do business across the board, including the programs or individually or shopping, it's all changed, you know? And now here we are, 21 to 23. The budgets are approved, the programs are up and running, and we are driving energy efficiency across all of Maryland. So, and again, a lot of the positive impacts you see on the screen here, I don't need to repeat them, but I think everybody understands this. So that's where these programs and these incentives come from, the Empower Maryland Act. So this legislation enables the utilities to have a surcharge. It's pennies on the dollar on every utility bill, and that money is funded these programs since 2008. Thank you, Steve. Now, getting into energy savings, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my partner, Steve Weaver. And again, Steve Weaver is an account executive for the Pepco programs here in Maryland. And welcome, Steve.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that introduction. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. Now we want to get into different strategies, ways to save energy for your businesses. So when we look at options you have, we'll break it down into some silos. You may have a facility, a building, multiple facilities. You can look at the operations and maintenance of existing facilities, existing equipment. You can look at replacing equipment or retrofitting systems. And then you can also look at new construction or major renovation. So the first silo, operations and maintenance. Properly planned and executed O&M is one of the most cost-effective strategies for building owners and operators. Some of the benefits you could see are equipment longevity, reliability, safety, and efficiency. So when we look at looking at your current systems and ways to make them more efficient, some studies have shown that measures cost can be 20 times less by improving a current piece of equipment or system and achieve roughly the same energy savings as a replacement or an upgrade to that unit. So I want to look at some sample actions you, a facility engineer, could take in your plant, in your facility to help improve the operations and maintenance. Make sure to perform scheduled or preventative maintenance of the various systems. There's a complex mechanical systems, standalone systems. You want to adhere to the maintenance schedules. So be sure to schedule those with in-house staff or your vendors and have those tuned up, maintained properly throughout their life cycle. Also looking at the operators, those individuals working in these facilities, keeping the lights on, keeping the occupants comfortable, whether that's cooling, heating, and your operations just running. Make sure those professionals have training, development, and continuing education for that staff. Just like many of us in our variety of roles, we want to build our professional development, become more efficient, become more knowledgeable, gain insight. So same way, by learning how to operate these systems more efficiently, learning about new procedures, evolutions in technology, where the market's going. So continuing education. Another action can be adjusting temperature set points and occupancy schedules to align with building use. So you may have a facility or multiple facilities where staff, guests, volunteers are in at different times, different hours. So align the building operations with when the building is occupied versus unoccupied. That way you're able to improve efficiency. You're able to have systems kind of shut down or cool down maybe when there isn't as much occupancy. So those are a few different actions you can take to improve the operations and maintenance of your facility. Now, when looking at the incentive programs, some of the programs we have to help you move forward are, we have an HVAC tune-up program, small and full building tune-up, and monitoring-based commissioning. So all these programs help provide incentives for you to pursue those options where you're not replacing any equipment, you're just working to improve the efficiency of your current systems. We also have an O&M training, so an operations and maintenance training. So different building operators, facility staff, chief engineers can attend a variety of courses through different organizations and become more efficient in their craft and in operating your buildings. Next, we want to talk about equipment replacement and retrofits. So as I had mentioned, a couple of different silos in looking at how you take a bite of the pie or start to solve the puzzle of improving and saving energy. So sometimes you may have to replace a piece of equipment due to end of useful life or just your different visions and goals based on capital expenditures or forward-looking plans. So for equipment replacements and retrofits, energy efficiency replacements can help to reduce operational cost. They can help attract new tenants, and it can help you gain a market edge in the marketplace with your building. Some different actions you can take within a facility: you can convert old fluorescent lighting to LED technology, improving efficiency, productivity, and safety. So not only is it going to show you energy savings, but you'll also see maybe more productive individuals within the facility and have a safer space. Replace HVAC or mechanical systems that are beyond the end of their useful life. All different equipment and technologies have a lifespan or a life cycle. So sometimes these may fail right around in, they may go longer, they may go shorter, but by adhering to, manuals and industry practices, when it does come time to replace those units, you can do so. And then also, you may have unique equipment, whether it's commercial kitchen appliances, different pieces of equipment or machines, and when those need to be replaced, look to replace them with an Energy Star rated unit. Programs we have to help you utilize the incentive paths are, we have prescriptive. So that is where if you do X and it meets Y efficiency rating, we pay a certain dollar amount per unit. So we have prescriptive programs for lighting, HVAC, miscellaneous high efficiency equipment, and more. Also, there might be a time where you're replacing equipment and you can use the custom path or our business instant discounts program. Lastly, let's touch on new construction and major renovation. So as your businesses expand, as you grow, as you look to maybe build out new sites, you might have construction projects or major renovation projects in your pipeline. Energy efficiency measures can be applied in various stages of the design and construction process for large complex processes like this. So when you're tackling or project managing a long life cycle new construction or major renovation project, some ideas or actions you can take are incorporating technologies and concepts such as radiant heating and cooling. When in design, you can certainly look at different solutions that may fit your needs, the needs of the plant and the facility as well. You can also optimize efficiency using energy modeling. And then lastly, be thoughtful about design. Increase natural lighting, build up, not out. So really, yourself, the design team, all the stakeholders together, look at outside the box ways to be more efficient. Programs you can utilize when pursuing a new construction or major renovation can certainly use our prescriptive paths, our custom paths, and we also have new construction design support. So those are some ways we can help you through that process. This slide here talks quickly about the Energy Savings for Business program portfolio. We have a variety of ways to help your business receive incentives for any type of project. So we have prescriptive, we have custom, new construction, combined heat and power, building tune-up, business instant discounts, energy efficient communities, and small business. All project types can fall into these different categories, whether you're doing a retrofit, a new construction, or a renovation. And then we quickly want to touch on how we define business segments. Our medium and large businesses are customers with a monthly electric demand greater than 100 kW. And lastly, when pursuing incentives through either the Pepco or Delmarva business incentives, you do want to receive pre-approval for all projects. John, I'll kick it over to you to talk a little bit about the Utilities Business Energy Manager Toolkit.
Hey, thanks, Steve, and really insightful on all the information. I appreciate that. So everyone, let's take a minute and let's just talk about a couple of resources that are available to Pepco and Delmarva customers, and also BGE, just so you know, because they're part of the Exelon portfolio. This is some ways to take control of your energy consumption. They offer a business energy manager tool set. And what is it? It's literally, it's a way to use real-time data, your energy consumption, where you can take a look at how your systems are running at different times throughout the course of the day. It's literally like the bottom line up front kind of mentality is you're able to see how is the weather impacting your facilities. How are you using your energy in real time? What systems are running and when? There's multiple reports you can create that you can export. So it's just a wonderful tool to get signed up on. Literally, this is something you can find on Pepco.com's website, and this is outside of the energy efficiency programs. But what it does is it allows you to set up energy reports at your sites. So if you have more than one site, or if you just have a single site, you can really start exploring what this tool can do for you. And again, it's just giving you insight into how you're using your energy at these facilities. So you could take a look and see what the energy savings opportunities are. There's a dashboard where you get high-level insights. It gives you some solutions where you can learn about no-cost and low-cost energy efficiency measures and strategies that are available, as well as how they can tie into the incentives here. So just want to keep that at the forefront. It's just taking data analytics to the next level and offering this service at no cost to our customers. So next slide, please, Steve. Another resource available, we just wanted to throw up here. I know everybody's aware of it, but there are additional funding resources you can find within the territory. Many of these you're going to be familiar with already. There's different grants or incentives or financing options available for the different projects you'll be doing. And these are all things you can take a look through. We have links to them here in the presentation. Again, we will be sending this presentation out to everyone on the call. And I believe we're at the end of the presentation. So we will open this up for questions and answers. And if we can get everybody off of mute here, that would be great. And just so everybody knows, we have about 10 minutes for Q&A. So we wanted to make sure we left plenty of time on there. And let's see here.
Thanks, John. So right now, everybody should be unmuted. If you did have a question, please feel free to ask. There is also a question chat feature, so if you want, you can type that in as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I think I'm having a problem with the mute and button.
We can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. My name is Lukman. I'm calling from, I'm attending the meeting virtually from University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. I have multiple accounts, and the way the system is set up is such that my main account, which is the main campus account, is in the same, has the same database of login with my other smaller account. You have talked about how I can do a little bit energy analysis, energy usage analysis from the energy portal. Is there any way I can have that main account, which constitutes about 80 or 90% of my energy consumption, separate from the smaller account so that I can do my energy analysis with that?
Hey, that's a great question. And so just to give you an idea, when it comes to data and data analytics, and you have a master metered account with multiple buildings on one account, it gets a little more difficult to get granularity into how the energy is being used at the individual buildings. But when you do have separate accounts, where you actually have individual accounts on the campus, as you mentioned, so you have multiple accounts, they will be able to break those out so you can see how that energy is being used at that particular account. Now, that's something that will be handled through. Now, if you're up in the Eastern Shore, at UMD Eastern Shore, I know you guys have done a lot of energy projects up there, and we appreciate you through the incentive programs. So what we could do is, are you already connected with your customer services rep for Delmarva Power? And if not, we can make sure that we have them reach out to you.
Oh, yes, I have. Yes, I have a contact.
Okay. Yep. And that would be the person who could help you with navigating all of the different features of that the Business Energy Manager tool set.
Okay.
Now, again, they'll be the experts in this, and so we just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that this is available to them outside of the incentives. But great question, and they should be able to help you set that up.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah, and thank you for the question, and we really appreciate you attending. Any other questions? Let's keep it going.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm interested. I have a couple of engineers in a multifamily building. It's an 18-story building, 2 towers, and I'm just wondering about continuing education. How would I? We're very interested in that. So that perked my ears.
Oh, yes. Steve, would you like to take that question?
Yeah, certainly. Thank you very much. Yeah, we can certainly help guide you to a list of organizations that we partner with that hold different courses that you and your staff could participate in, and then we would incentivize. We also hold different trainings throughout the year, so we can connect to make sure you have access to the calendar and schedule of events.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. How do I do that?
So it would be on the website. We can point you to, now, is this in the Pepco or Delmarva service territory?
Pepco.
Okay, so we can point you to the pepco.com/business page and then direct you to the O&M training. You'll see then a list of different courses. And if you click on each one, it can give you an overview and syllabus. We'll make sure to highlight that for you at the conclusion of the program.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And please, you can share that with the Delmarva Power team too.
Certainly,
Yes.
we will certainly do so. So, as John mentioned earlier today, we will distribute out this slide deck and presentation. So one thing you'll want to note on slide 14, where it is the Q&A header, both links to the business incentives webpage are listed. You can follow that, and then you're able to filter or click through each program. So for specifically operations and maintenance training, the O&M trainings, you'll want to follow through on the left-hand page, kind of scroll down to see that, click on that, and sort through the courses you're interested in.
Yeah, and folks, one quick thing too. One way we can get to you immediately, with also an individual reaching out to help you with the process, is if you could drop your email into the chat. That way we can make sure we know exactly which email, and then we can have one of our account executives, maybe even Steve himself, if you're in Pepco, reach out to you personally to help walk you through the process and give you a little bit more granular view of what's available, so there's no confusion on what resources you have and how the incentives work.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, great questions. Keep them coming. Now, just so you guys know, I know it's a coffee break. I'm on my third cup of coffee, so I'm ready to answer questions. Bring them.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes. I'm pretty much in charge of my church, my local church, and we have we have 9 individual outside air conditioning units that are rapidly reaching their end of life cycle. And it's to the point now where it's repair, see how long it runs, repair, see how long it runs. What recommendations would you have for that problem? I'm looking for maybe either I think they're beyond the routine maintenance, so it's possibly the time to go to upgrading of those units.
Right. That's a great question, and great situation to be in. So there are a few different pathways to incentives that you could pursue on that if you do choose to replace the equipment. We have our prescriptive path, and like John said, we can certainly connect on an individual, unique scope specific basis after the presentation. But prescriptive, so if they are rooftop units or split system units, all kind of working in their own separate zones, we would look at the size of the unit you're going to be replacing it with. We would want to ensure that you're meeting any program requirements on the SEER or IEER or EER rating. So as long as a unit meets the ratings we publish, then it would be qualify for an incentive. And we can help you with that application process. Another great alternative is we have business instant discounts. So we participate with local distributors where you can purchase equipment directly from them and receive the incentive at the point of sale. It eliminates the need for an application to be submitted and the project reviewed. So that could be an alternative if you have a fast-moving project and work with one of the distributors.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Mr. Cornish, to Steve's point, if you drop your email into the chat, that way he can get to you personally, and that we can talk about your specific needs at that location.
Okay, fine.
Wonderful. And thank you for the question.
Yes, thank you.
And
then
thank you for your response.
You're welcome. One question we did receive through the chat feature or a type in, I believe, was one of the individuals is looking for some saving strategies specifically for a retail shopping center. So that's a great question. Certainly that's a specific end use or market segment. So we can connect to maybe understand the structure in terms of if it's multiple tenants, if they're each then in charge of their own utilities and or potential mechanical systems. But with that, some of the similar things we talked about here are looking at the current operation of equipment, ensuring you're seeing routine maintenance, preventative maintenance of systems. That is a great way to start. Also, just trying to maybe look into the BEM, Business Energy Manager, to better understand your current usage, getting some insight into the data. So we can certainly talk offline to try and better answer any unique question you have about your shopping center.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve and John. I don't know if you can see my hand being raised or not. This is Mark Amadeo from Queen Anne's County Public Schools.
Oh, hello.
Hi, I wanted to know, I guess, just briefly before, I know we can have separate meetings about this, but I guess do the same incentives that I guess Delmarva Power is the program that I use. The same incentives, are they for public school districts as they are for businesses? Is that the same? Do you guys have the same incentive style set up, or is it separate for something as part of the public sector?
Sorry to interrupt. Yes, you're correct. So in terms of the Empower Maryland incentives, all commercial businesses, industrial businesses, those programs do oversee that. So whether you're a public school system, maybe a commercial industrial facility, commercial business, that's all under the same program structure and incentive structure.
Okay, thank you. And then I think I typed in my email address in the questions. I couldn't find the chat box. Is that correct?
Okay, we can certainly
That's
look.
fine. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I
don't
see it
know
there.
what
Sorry.
the feature
Yep.
is. I've never used this online form before, so thank you.
No worries. Yeah, drop it in there. We'll make sure that you're going to be hearing from Jen Robinson too, who's working with the school district over there on some of, I believe, the outdoor lighting projects for you guys. So, so we'll make sure that you hear from her to get a full list of the available options for you through the incentives. So,
Thank you.
now there was also a question in here about who the distributors are in the project. Whom do I contact? We'll make sure that we send that over to you. That'll be part of this for the midstream distributors who are in that, again, that point of sale incentive for both lighting and HVAC. It's called Business Instant Discounts is the name of the program. But Peter, I believe that came from you. If you drop your email into the chat as well, or excuse me, into the questions, if you could throw that in there, we'll make sure we reach out to you personally. And Lukeman, I think we got you all covered. Let's see here. And we'll be reaching out to Natasha Boyd. And do we have any other questions? Let's see here. Anybody, did we miss your question? I can't say thank you enough for taking the time out of your day-to-day to join us. The engagement was wonderful to hear that there's opportunities out there that we can help you. And literally the revenue coming from these incentives, it can really go a long way. So we're looking forward to engaging with you offline. I want to thank you all again. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, John. Take care. Have a good day, everyone.